everyone, welcome back. This week we are reviewing Power Season 4, Episode 4, and it's titled We're in This Together. And we are in this together.
We are definitely in this together.
So this is the Spot Real Talk. Hang tight and we'll be right back.
Wanna show you how I'm nothing like him. Swear that's the truth. So you can't trust that
All right, we're back. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And like I said, we're talking about Season 4, Episode 4. And this episode was crazy. It was so packed with just information. Again, they keep throwing all this stuff at us every week. And so I need my notes today.
And let's give a shout out to Courtney Kemp and the writers, because I mean to tell y'all are doing a smacking banging job on this thing.
So good.
Every time I think you're going one way, it's another. I love the way you've been able to encapsulate each position and each area that's going on in their lives, and how you are actually able to bring them together yet but keep them separate at the same time.
It's phenomenal. I don't know how anyone could not be watching this show by now.
I keep asking people when I meet them on the street, are you a Power fan? And I'm surprised if I hear someone say, no, I don't watch Power. I'm like,
hop on it.
Stars,
Right.
Get it, watch it.
Yeah, so where do we start? So much happened this week. How about the opening scene? We get Ghost. He's kind of in jail and he's being harassed.
Pumping that arm.
Yeah, so he's working out, and in comes Charlie Murphy's character.
That's the Tin Man.
And he comes and push down the weights on Ghost's chin while he's working out.
I started thinking about old Kung Fu Kick. He can throw his kick back.
It was funny seeing his legs dangling like that.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I'm so not used to not seeing Ghost in control, so I'm like, man, he can't even react. And these crooked cops talking about, won't nobody even care about you if you die. The cameras ain't on.
That's another issue. Cameras not on.
Yeah.
So, what's up with that?
Exactly.
Fix the camera or cut it on. Do something.
Right. And so Ghost, I'm sure he's still struggling with that. And then the next scene it kind of cuts to is Tommy and Tasha. So Tommy has stayed the night.
Well, let's go to also the contention in the office. Remember with the
right? Yeah, that
attorney.
was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This episode it had so many short scenes, but it's so much information in those short scenes, and so it's a lot of cutaways.
Right.
And and particularly with that though, because I wanted to really kind of, what do you think? I mean, somebody's going to turn on somebody in there. This
in
is
the office. Yeah,
in that office, and I'm thinking Mike has to have a plan, because this thing is getting closer and closer to he might be.
I think Mike is ready.
Mike
Found out.
Yeah,
he's getting ready. He's ready.
But they're still pissed at Angela. It was Sax and Mike that were mad at Angela about the surveillance video from the traffic stop. And so they're like, why didn't you bring this up? Blah, blah, blah. They still blaming her, and Angie's like, I told Mark.
She did.
Right.
And he did. And so Mark backed her up. But then Mark got mad at her too, because she went and offered James a deal without consulting him. Right. So I'm like, Angie, girl, you still ain't gonna learn. You just got put back on the case, and you are in trouble.
Though he got mad and said she's insubordinate, or yada yada yada, but then he says, "Oh, but I like the plan because our plan is seemingly falling apart. So go do what you
do what you gotta do with Tasha."
Yeah, he knows that they basically sent Angie to do their dirty work.
Yeah,
she gonna do it.
Right. They're not getting their hands dirty. Yeah,
they're already dirty.
Right. And so it goes from there. So from that cutaway, they're all in the office talking, and they're saying we still want him to get the needle. We still want him to get the needle, and Angela's like, well, I guess we're all in this together. And I'm like, this heifer.
This heifer is on the list. I said last week we were going to start a segment of who can get these hands, and Angie is still on the list.
She is so annoying to me. I just want to just reach through the camera and shake her.
Yes. But as we see, and as I guess we'll get to later, Angie has... She's coming inside in her own now.
She finally getting to her senses. But
it took long enough.
Yeah, we're gonna get down there in a second.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So the next scene that cuts away is to James is in the jail and he's talking with Proctor and Silver. And Silver is still being judgmental. Looking up when they say, James is trying to confirm that he's this good businessman, this upstanding citizen. And Mock over there Silver over there smirking.
That Bama.
He was like,
well, he relaxed.
He's smirking and stuff and making little noises. I'm like, this, like, you don't do that in front of somebody that you're representing.
And
First of all,
Ghost
that's
said
so
it. And Ghost said it.
unprofessional.
Go said it. He was like, if you don't believe me, why
Why
you
are
not
you
have a
here?
team? Why you here?
Exactly.
He's so unprofessional, and so he kind of ticked me off with that.
Mhm.
But either way, he kept asking him about the gun. Like, is there anything that can tie you to this
Well,
gun?
let me ask you: if Ghost were white, in the
Oh.
same predicament, and Silver was in representing him, do you think it would go the same way?
Absolutely not. You
No,
already know that
no.
because he feels like since we the same color and
I
we
can-
come,
right.
Yeah.
I can indict you.
I can test you a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
But
right. 'Cause
somebody else.
You had to have done it. You're black.
Yeah, Silver acting like a
And
coon.
it's sad that
Silver's acting like a
sad.
coon. Cooning and
Exactly.
buffooning.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a hot mess because you should think that a black lawyer, he understands your circumstances and where you come from. He would be
His
more,
circumstances are different.
I know,
he
but you
can't
would
relate
think
to gays.
he
then-
can't relate. But okay, there's so many of us that we might be on the straight and narrow, but
Right.
we have relatives
Yes.
and cousins and
Yes.
Pookie and them
Yes.
that be into
The
some
infamous
mess.
Pookie and them. I was gonna mention that later about ghosts.
So we all can relate, and so even
wait
if
a
we're
minute. I
not
don't
directly.
have a Pookie, but I got a June bug.
Oh, well, somebody.
Boo boo.
We all got some suspect friends and family members, so you should be able to relate in some way or another.
Yeah, you can relate. All y'all can relate out there. I know you
Right.
can.
Right.
Yeah, and so, but either way, Silver, he said he gonna get on the job to get the gun dismissed, and he's gonna.
Without that gun,
they have nothing.
they really have
They
nothing.
don't, because the DNA's been dismissed.
Right.
They don't have the gun. They only have the fingerprint.
They only have the fingerprint, and even now, you can probably get around that. I mean, I'm not even sure. I'm not even.
He
In
didn't have
fact,
any business being in that man's
Well, no, he
house.
didn't, but-
so that's the most incriminating.
but
thing.
even they have said pretty much themselves, without the gun,
There's nothing.
Oh, yeah.
You got
you
nothing.
really don't
Yeah.
have any.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and so from this scene we cut and we go to Julio. So our guy Julio, he is not getting any respect this episode.
Poor Julio. I know. Nobody is giving him respect. Even his boy Cristobal.
Yeah, and so him and Cristobal talking, and he's like, I had to go and pay my respects to old boy that got his legs ran over, and so he kind of talks to him about Tommy, like, what is your boy Tommy doing? Like, I thought y'all was on the same page, but clearly, there's a rift somewhere up in there. And so if your men can see it, then there's trouble.
Right.
And so
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not feeling Julio right about at this point.
I feel
I'm not-
you
You
Julio.
wasn't feeling Julio last week. You
No.
got an issue with Julio,
Well,
obviously.
Well, because Julio is up to something, and I can't.
Julio is
so.
up to being a distributor. That's
He's
what he's
not.
up to.
Just like Tommy said, you bringing these problems to me, trying to make it my problem. Now I got
Yeah,
a problem
problem
with
with
you.
you. Yeah.
he did say that.
Yeah,
But,
he did say that.
He's got some.
but
he's
you're
got
also
something going
not
on.
giving him the authority to handle the problems. Like, you sitting up here saying handle it, but at the same time, you can't do too much. Like, let this man be your number two and trust him in his decisions.
And then
I don't
he's
think- well,
usurping.
that's the whole thing.
He's
He doesn't
usurping
trust.
Julio.
I know,
He
and that's
does
what
not
I'm
trust
saying.
him.
And he's stepping on Julio's toes because last week when he went to make the drop, he came. He didn't need to be there, but he didn't trust him, and he was blatantly showing Julio he didn't trust
Right,
him.
and so when you don't give this man authority to act as your number two, then he always gonna not live up to
He's
your
gonna second
expectations.
guess.
Yeah, he is second guessing himself. And when Cristobal was saying, respect is not given, you think just because you're in this number two position that everybody has to respect you all of a sudden. He's like, this is earned respect.
That's true.
And actually, and I think that's probably what I'm seeing in Julio. He has to understand
He
that
has earned it.
respect isn't given; it's
right.
earned.
Right. That's true.
And so there can not be any questions that you have. You can't be throwing these little questions at your boss, at Tommy, and expecting Tommy to look at you and say, "Oh, good man, good man."
Right.
That's not going to work. You're supposed to clean up.
Yeah, and in his
You
case,
bring him
yeah.
results. You don't bring him problems.
And you don't get this respect by association. They respect
Exactly.
Tommy, but
Right.
you got some work to do.
It does.
So.
He's got a job.
right.
Get it done.
Exactly. And so meanwhile, the next scene comes up where Proctor is going to talk with Tommy, and he's basically telling him about, what's going on with Ghost, and then, Tommy is supposed to be going to deliver the money to Tony. And, he's saying, ask Tony about such and such. Like, try to get some information out of him that we can use. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes down to that point, I think Tommy, he's like, I got it. You know, Tommy, I think he is very smart. Like, he knows how to get information, but he also knows how to not let it be so obvious where it's like, I'm probing you.
He's street smart.
No, he's savvy.
Right.
He's extremely street smart.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if he wasn't so crazy, flicked it in the head. I mean, you know, but
Tommy's insane.
Tommy is
insane.
I love your character.
I do too. He's, you know.
Yeah, and
it wouldn't be power without Tommy.
Right, and to your point, you kind of mentioned about the writing, because if you ever look at Joseph Sikora, who plays Tommy, they're nothing alike.
No.
And you mentioned about the writing being so good that it's so believable. Like, I believe that if I seen Joseph on the street, I would think like, yo, Tommy, like, that's who you are.
Oh, by the way, I need a shout out to that Yukon that Tommy's driving. It's identical to mine.
And Tommy's outfits this season too.
Yeah,
Tommy is fresh.
Tommy is killing it.
Fresh. Okay, and so the next thing that comes up is we go to Tasha and Angela. And so I already know you about to have so much to say about this. But Tasha is talking to Angie, and she's basically trying to get Tasha on her side. Like, you know, we're in this together. You know, James, he lied to both of us. He played us both. So why are you being so loyal to him? You should just look out for yourself. And then she also tells her about the deal that she offered Ghost, which he did not tell her about. Mm-hmm. But she's finding out from Angela. And so Tasha plays it cool. That's my girl. She always knows how to put on a good front.
She's a G.
And so Tasha says, you know, yeah, I knew about it. Why would you expect him to flip? He didn't do it. So why would he take a deal? And you know, at one point, Tasha, she gets in her bag and she was like, do you want me to slap the hell out of you?
Yeah. Angie is asking for it. I mean, she keeps popping up on Tasha. She's been to her house several times. We saw that last season. And every time you turn around, she's reaching out. I know Courtney is against women on women violence and things, but at this point, Angie is a stalker, and at least Tasha could like file a complaint with the department. The department or something. Mm-hmm. So this chick is stalking me. She's having an affair with my ex. She is tripping. She is like on the list who can get these hands this week. She's with Tariq still.
Yeah, as Angie was trying to paint this picture about lying, about Ghost lying, and
she got a lot of nerve.
Said, you lying yourself.
Like,
I mean, what's up with that? So I don't know. I see where she's going. She has to do it.
Yeah, she's trying to save herself, and she's trying to do her job, but she's real out of pocket every time I turn around. And then once again, she has dropped another bomb on Tasha. Last week, she told Tasha that it was Greg.
Here we go.
That was Greg, that was her boyfriend, that Ghost supposedly killed. Now she's telling him that about the deal. And while he didn't take the deal and everything, the point is, Ghost once again did not communicate that to Tasha. And that leads me back to some of the wonderful comments that we got from you guys. I really appreciate your comments, and a lot of your comments had a lot of insight in it. So keep them coming. We will respond to them. But
and of course,
John, Darren, Gabar, I just want to let you know that we can just agree to disagree on Ghosts.
And Ray, let me say this. Another comment said, "Dude, being me, is on point." Y'all females, which is what he said.
And females, John Williams. let me address you directly. Females, don't call us females. That is a derogatory form.
Not in itself, but it's about what you imply.
It's about what you imply when you say females.
John, I got it.
We are women. We are ladies.
Yes, look.
Don't say females.
These are lovely ladies. We
don't say that.
And I don't think that you meant any harm. I just enjoyed the fact that you see my point. There's so many people.
Yeah, he can see your point, but he gets a little too close to the flame with his wording.
Exactly. And basically, I can see why a lot of you guys see the point, because Ghost is a man. A lot of y'all men are sticking together on this, and the point
is... As you are women. And here's the thing. We talked earlier, guys. We do talk before the show. And as I said, and even, I believe, Gabar brought this up, they're drug lords.
Right.
Every single one of them. Mm-hmm. So why are we sitting here looking for morality amongst thieves? They're all drug lords. So and as we see,
so
as
drug
we
lords
see,
don't take care of their kids.
No.
I mean, they
No,
don't take care of the kids. I mean,
I
not
can't
saying
speak
that
for
Ghost
all
didn't take care of
drug
kids,
lords.
but he was really focused on Angela, and there was some neglect there with
Well,
the kids.
that's,
he was
that's a matter of the
unfaithful.
heart.
He was
That's a
unfaithful
matter-
to his wife.
That's a
Even
matter.
this Tony Teresi guy, he is a killer. A
But
drug or whatever, but he loves the heck out of his
Tony-
wife. You
But
see,
Tony's
I'm
old
willing to
school.
believe that
Tony's
he is.
old school. They've been together for a while, and his
40
wife
years.
stood by him. She stands by him 100%.
And as is Tasha.
Okay?
Yeah, she's standing
Okay,
by
I'm
him.
not even going back to that whole point.
No,
I'm
because
not gonna drive that
no,
point.
because
But what I'm saying-
we already agreed. And if you guys didn't see our episode last week or even some of the previous seasons, Tiara and I conceded the point that Tasha was wrong by not supporting Ghost
to leave the
and
game.
to leave the game. She should have done that
And
everything. And the situation with Sean,
possibly-
she was wrong.
And possibly,
but,
her being wrong
that
caused
opened the door.
a domino effect, which we are seeing
Minimally,
played out
minimally.
at
Yes,
this point.
because-
that opened the door, yes. But Ghost ran through that door.
Yes, he did.
And once he did run through that door, Gabon, you made a point specifically to me about you also being a parent. So I'll talk to you parent to parent. When you are a parent and you are entering a relationship, he wasn't even done with Tasha. They are not divorced. You still want to have a conversation with your children before you throw them in the mix. And then also, if you're taking the kids over the house of the chick you're dealing with, at least have some reasonable accommodations. And we saw last year that he had the kids sleeping on an air mattress.
Okay.
And
On the floor.
Ghost is not Pookie and Ray Ray. Ghost is wealthy. He chartered a plane to Miami. He bought Angie a diamond necklace. He bought her Bally shoes. He paid Teresi $20,000 to keep his mouth shut. So this is a wealthy man. So you don't have the kids sleeping on the mattress. Now,
On the
you
floor.
better be glad that it was Tasha and not Tiff, because I would have pulled up to Truth ASAP, immediately, expediently, and in that order.
Lavar, you see what I gotta go through? Okay, it's rough out here, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Man.
She's on it. Okay?
Man.
Yes.
Y'all are killing
Don't
me.
play with the babies. What did I say last week? The male lion protects the pride. Ghost did not protect the pride.
This week on National Geographic.
Y'all are too much. Y'all are too much for me. Okay, so let's hop back into the episode. So we cut to the scene where after, Tasha has met with Angela, she goes in, she's in her home and she's talking to Keisha. Mm-hmm. And so Keisha sees the little pilot on the couch. She's like, hold up, who you got standing up in here?
And she knew.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
And so when she finds out it's Tommy, she's like, oh,
Jealous,
of
Jealous.
course. But why you got Tommy standing up in here? That's your man's best friend. You can hear the envy in her voice.
She think Tasha gonna steal her man
Yeah,
because
she
she
do.
has before. But to that point about Keisha, like she's saying that Tasha stole Sean away from her, and she did because
Right.
Sean was feeling her. But one thing that Keisha did wrong was she told Tasha about Sean's sex game. Ladies, don't do that. Don't tell your girls about your man's sex game.
Then
You know,
you opening the door.
Right, you're opening the door. I mean, some of you
Which
might
goes to
have
my whole
good,
point.
some of your girls
Which goes
might
to
be
my
good
whole
friends,
point
but some of your
about-
girls might be some hoes. So don't tell your girls about your man's sex game.
And which goes to my whole point about Tasha. Tasha's hands aren't clean.
But we never said they were.
Yeah,
we
we
never
never
said
said that.
they were.
I mean,
but
she's having sex with Sean in Ghost home.
We never said that was right, but
We
we
never
just
said that was
saying
right.
Ghost has done act after act
After-
after act
yes.
after act after act after act after act
Ghost-
after
he
act.
cheated.
As
He's taking money without telling her.
As we
She
see,
keeps getting bombs dropped on her.
Look.
Like he's not keeping her
You
no.
know-
And yet,
He is
even
not.
after everything he's done, Tasha has still covered his butt.
but we all know Ghost is a cleaner, and we're seeing that now. And now, he does. He tries to clean up his mess. The problem is
Is this mess cleaned up, guys?
No, it's not.
Does it look cleaned up to
No,
you?
because shit happens. If you pardon the expression, it does. And what I think is he's not planning out well enough. And what we're seeing is that he keeps getting trapped in his own mess.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that he's not trying to make good with some of the things he's getting into. Now, I hear you sometimes beating up on Ghost as if he purposely is putting himself out there like that, or that
he's not,
really
but he's
trying.
not communicating a lot of times. He's leaving people out of the loop, specifically his wife. So
Right.
yeah,
If nothing else,
you gotta
like,
keep her in
just
the
show
loop.
some common courtesy.
But-
If
Thank
nothing
you.
else.
But we
Thank
do
you.
know, in the past episodes, that Ghost has a tendency not to say things to his wife, not because he's trying to hide something. More or less, it's because he thinks he's saving her from something.
No,
Most of the
it's
time
that-
it's because he thinks he has everything under control. A lot of
Exactly
times
right.
it's that arrogance.
Well, I'm not certain if that's arrogance or the understanding. He's a drug lord. He's one of the top in New York City.
But he
So
has to
at
also
some
understand
point-
the position he's in now, where he can't make the moves that he normally does.
Exactly.
I understand that, but it's going to take some time. You just don't flip a switch and become somebody else, like James, St. Patrick.
That's facts.
He
But when
is
you got
Ghost.
your wife out there with your kids and you know they struggling with this and you turning down deals that they don't know about,
Exactly.
that directly affects
Exactly.
them.
And that doesn't
Let's-
mean
let's
that we
be clear.
expected him to take the deal. He should have at least communicated that a deal was on the table so she would not be blindsided when Angela stepped to her.
And here's the point. The only thing, and I don't know if he thought that Angela would step to him. So
She done been to the house a couple times. He should know not to underestimate this chick.
You're
This chick
asking
came
this
up to
man-
the
Right.
truth and locked
You're
him up.
asking this man who is under as extreme duress in jail because
It is his fault that he's under extreme duress.
Here we go.
It is his fault that he's in the bank.
Can we?
It is.
It
But
is
see,
his
I see both sides of it. It's definitely his fault, but I also understand that he's under a lot of
He
pressure.
is a lot of
And you
pressure.
kind of asking him to think this stuff out like that. It's not going to happen.
And you got nothing
And-
but time in there, though.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
and this
but
is his survival.
he's dodging
He
bullets
needs to
in there.
think about this.
He's dodging bullets in there. So my whole point is, give him credit for not
I'm
credit.
giving him-
Sorry, give him a pass for not picking up the phone right after that
It
little
doesn't even have to-
shady deal.
all it
the
takes
deal
is a
was shady,
second, though.
but the deal was shady to begin with.
It
and my whole
was.
point is, why would I go bring my wife in on such a shady deal? To me, this wasn't even a deal. I mean,
He
what
should
are you
have
going to
just
get?
told her. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Give
Or-
her a heads
or
up.
Tell Proctor.
Tell Proctor to
my
tell
man,
her,
can you
right.
tell my wife that this is what's up? Keep
Right.
her in the loop.
Just
If
keep her
I
in the
can't
loop.
keep her in
That's
the loop,
all.
you keep her
That's
in the
all.
loop.
That's all we're saying.
And
Keep
then
her in the
what?
loop.
And then what?
It's just
It's just-
information, so
right.
she's not blindsided.
So
So
she's
she
not
knows how
blindsided.
to react.
Right.
So she knows how to answer questions when she's blindsided.
Oh, I forgot. You ladies want to know everything.
It's not about knowing everything.
That's
It's
what it is.
what
Y'all
if
just
she
wanna
slipped
know
up and said
Why you
everything.
saying acting like you're not a married man? You know you need to communicate that stuff. Communicate with your wife.
I'm not-
You know you can't
I'm
leave
pleading
stuff
the
out.
fifth. I ain't
Uh-huh.
saying nothing.
Uh-huh.
moving right along.
Trying to implicate me now. That's just bringing in my stuff.
That's
Oh.
right. No, because you're married man, you know that you gotta communicate
know.
some things. And you know you would be in trouble if you did not leave something out and your wife heard something secondhand that you
We
should
know
have
it
told her.
and he know it too.
Exactly. We gonna holler her after this broadcast.
See what I'm saying? It's hard.
Right.
Hard being me up here.
So,
Moving right along.
what did you guys think of Keisha telling Tasha to basically forget Ghost? You need to look out for yourself. Because that's pretty much what Keisha told her.
Keisha needs to take a step back. She needs to come out of the street, get her head out of the street, and try to understand what's going on. Now, understandably, she doesn't know everything. Mm-mm. And, so she's, in fact, I think she probably believes to some extent that Ghost is,
She thinks he did. I think she believes he did it.
I think so too. I think that's where the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and poor Tasha, she's got everybody coming at her with this.
Flip
Ghost-
on him.
Flip
Yeah.
on him.
So, and me personally, I think that's what Ghost was concerned with. He's concerned with not giving her any more than she needs to handle. See, you all are looking at it from one side of the street. I got it on the other side of the street in the sense that men don't communicate often about certain things that
see.
should
You got
be
that right.
communicated.
We see.
You got that right.
Look, that's a given. But I'm thinking that, and it's my opinion, but I'm believing that he's trying to take as much load off of her as possible by not giving her everything. Because you all can be kind of funny sometimes. If you got a guy that's communicating everything, then you go, oh my God, will they shut up? And then if you
But
got
this
a
is
guy...
very
This is
relevant
different. This
information.
is different.
Stuff you
This is
have to
different.
know.
This is concerning her and the kids and the family. So
That taking-
anything like
okay,
that, he
taking a
needs
deal,
to
taking a deal,
communicate
taking
that.
that-
And he should also know how strong Tasha is. She has proved
Exactly.
time
He
and
knows
time
that
again.
she's ride or die. She's already demonstrated her loyalty and her
But you can
mental
also
toughness.
see, but you can also see the doubt because we really don't know where Tasha is going right now.
Well, you know what? She is probably just taking everything in because she keeps getting blindsided. Like every time she regains her footing, here comes something else.
Right.
But she's being blindsided by the one person that has everything in terms of the information. So Angie keeps feeding her a little bit at a time, and that's where this turmoil is building up in her because Angie's always coming at her with something else.
Yeah,
right.
She need to just smack the heck out of
That's
him.
what I said.
Really?
Like
I mean,
Angie,
get out of
like
here.
I said, she's on the list. She's on the list this week.
And Tasha is on the edge. She's about
Yeah,
this close.
Yeah, my concern is for Tasha. That is my concern.
Yeah. Okay, so then, what do you guys think about when Tasha went to tell Ghost to his face in jail? Look, don't make no more decisions.
I was
me.
happy she G-checked that Bama. She G-checked that Bama.
And he's sitting up there, she's like, look, she offered me a deal too.
He looks stupid. What are you saying? What are you saying to me, Tasha?
What part of Philly did you grow up? We're moving right along. We'll get
Why? Why?
I'm just asking.
But yeah, I thought Tasha was right on point for going and checking him to his face. She didn't make a phone call. She said, look, don't make no more decisions.
Look, Ninja.
I'm telling you to your face.
Right.
But
So you know I'm not playing.
But was that a decision, honestly, though? I mean, was he supposed to stop?
He was supposed to communicate.
Let me get
he
this,
was
let me
supposed
get
to
this in there.
communicate.
No.
And I'm glad she checked
She
him.
said don't make any more decisions. That being said.
Without telling me.
Excuse me. She said, do not make any more decisions without my knowledge. This is what she's saying. Mm-hmm. In order to do that, hey, Proctor, Silver, Angie, whoever's making this deal, y'all hold up. Somebody give me a cell phone so I can call my wife and see if she's okay with this deal.
No, it's not about seeing if she's okay with it because
it's just about communicating.
Yeah.
That's not what she said. She said, don't make a deal without my knowledge.
Don't make a decision without telling me. Informing me.
That's
That's
what
what
she's
she's
asking
asking
for.
for.
My kids.
But
Get my input.
He called home when he saw Raina in the paper. He certainly could have called home to say, look, this is what happened. Or he could have communicated to Proctor to let Proctor know that this is happening.
We ain't going nowhere with this. Okay.
No, no.
All right, so I want to talk about this first court appearance that we see. Proctor is in there grilling Agent Donovan.
I love that. I love that
my
scene.
goodness.
I played that thing over, several times.
Yeah.
Donovan went
And
off.
Proctor really is making Donovan look really bad because every single piece of major evidence, from the fingerprints to the gun, Donovan was right there to get it.
Do you think Proctor meant to call Donovan the mole, or was that a ploy?
It was a ploy. He was trying to make him angry.
Well, he did. I mean,
He's trying to
that
make right,
was,
Because the truth is, Proctor doesn't know who the mole is,
Correct.
but he just knows that there was a mole in the office. So by pointing the finger at him, you basically trying to provoke him.
Yeah.
And he did.
Right.
And he did.
Uh-huh.
And Donovan blew all the way up on him.
Yes, he did. The angry black man. It was one of those you can't handle the truth moments.
Exactly.
On the stand.
And so you see Mike over there, like when he said, I think, Greg knew there was a mole in the office, and you see
Mike is
so
uptight.
He getting nervous. He looking all constipated in the face.
I bet he was constipated in other places.
And so then when he points the finger at Donovan, that's when it goes to hell in the handbasket, because Ghost is saying, earlier Silver had told him, you got to watch your attitude when you talking, like you can't blow up like you normally would. And so when they're in that courtroom and he sees Donovan blowing up, he says, see,
Angry
this
black
is
man.
why,
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to get that title of the angry black man. But, I'm worried about where things are going to go from here, because Donovan, he seems to have a vendetta against Ghost. Like, he said, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to paint this picture of me that I have something against him, and I don't like him. He said it straight up. I don't like this man, but I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize my job at the same time.
He thinks he killed his worker, his employee.
Right.
Yeah, but I think even beyond that, I think they're all looking at it as this is probably one of the more higher profile cases in New York. And so, we get this sucker, man. We're gonna go places, and it's more about greed, I think, as to what you see going on with Donovan. Now, he did push a button.
I think it's personal for Donovan.
No, I'm saying he did push a button with Donovan, but I'm trying to wrap my head about this whole thing with Mark, Donovan, Mike. What's this other lawyer in there?
Sachs.
Sandoval and Sachs.
Sandoval and Sachs.
And Sachs, right. So it's more to it. They're hungry for something else. Which is why they want the death penalty, because
justice. They want to make an example of him.
Right. That's so politicized. It would be so politicized. Look what we did. Look how we.
And
look
to
how,
have their
look how
names
bad
attached
we
to
are.
that, they're looking for the prestige.
And Mock wants to beat Proctor. Because it looks like Proctor has beaten him before.
Yeah,
so he wants to win at all costs.
So this is less about, well, not less about, but I think it's just as much about the game.
It is.
It is.
It's about winning.
As it is about anything else. And that's what they're trying to get out.
Right. Okay, so the next part that comes up after this is Tommy. He finally goes to make the drop to Tony's guy. And so he's greeted. I was surprised. I thought he was going to make the drop directly to the wife for some reason. But, we're greeted by this middleman. And so Tommy is talking to this guy. And, he's like, what kind of OG are you? You sitting up here watching Judge Judy. He's making jokes and stuff. And the guy, he's just
he
like.
said, so this is what retired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do.
I love that Tommy has become the comedic relief.
Yes.
Because it's so funny coming from Tommy because it's always so sarcastic.
Yes.
The writing.
Spot on. It's so good. And so this guy is basically, looking through, counting the money and stuff, trying to make sure that it's all there. And Tommy is probing him, trying to get this information. And he's throwing out all these names out there, well, you weren't that involved. Was you just basically calling him out and saying he was just a little side petty man on the side. Yeah. And the guys, his ego is popping out. He's looking at
side chick.
Yeah. And so as he's throwing out these names and all these different murders that have gone down, finally he gets the one. And there's this one murder, a guy, I gotta get his name. What was his name?
Oh.
I forgot his name.
Roberto. That was his name. So he finally drops this Roberto guy's name. And Tommy seen the guy react a little bit. And as soon as he dropped that name, the wife came out too. And that's when she's like, who is this? And she's questioning Tommy and stuff. And so then Tommy, he pretty much gets up out of there real quick.
And once again, she makes a point that she and her husband never kept secrets until now.
Right.
Again, it's part of the game.
Again, not keeping secrets.
Well,
we confirming our point.
But he has one of the
confirming our point.
He has one
never
of the biggest,
kept
He has
secrets.
one of the biggest secrets of all.
Well, yeah, because we think that Tommy is his son.
Oh, I do.
That's one of the biggest secrets of all.
Yeah, I think Tommy is his son.
And I'm guaranteeing you,
she
doesn't know about
yeah,
that.
she definitely doesn't.
Because she asked, who is this
Who's this
young
kid?
man?
Yeah.
Who's
Who's this kid?
So she might be a little suspect of what's really going on.
What's going on?
You called him, what did she say? Who's him?
Yeah. Because when he was, that was later on when he called Tony to confirm that he had gotten the money. And he's like, yeah, it's him.
Yeah,
and then
him.
she heard him say that.
Him.
Yeah.
Who's this young man? So already, secrets.
Yeah, they got some secrets. She likes to. Connie thinks she knows everything.
But she doesn't.
But the guy was again trying to tell her, this is just to protect you. We're just trying to get you the money so you can get healed or whatever. But
Shades of ghost.
I'm just what's up with the guys thinking they protecting us by lying to us?
By being dishonest.
You're in you're drug lords.
Okay,
there is no morality in that game, and stop looking for it. There just isn't any, and whatever that decisions.
We're not talking about a court of law. We're talking about marriage.
No, I'm talking about
kids.
No, we're not. We're talking. We're gone beyond marriage and kids. You're a drug lord. Decisions have to be made instantaneously because it's life or death. Every second.
So it was life or death that he may have had a child. That child being Tommy outside of his marriage. That was life or death.
No, what I'm saying.
Get out of here.
What I'm saying is, when you make life and death decisions every day, you're going to make a decision on whether I tell my wife or not. And here's the thing.
Yeah, because that could be a life or death situation.
I was about to say, that's what
that could be a life or death situation.
I got another kid.
That could be a life or death
and
situation.
she might drop that dime on you.
Exactly.
Like I said, decisions have to be made. And sometimes they're not the favorable decision or the one that should be made. It's the one that you think has to be made at that particular time. He doesn't have time to think about that. And
Once again, it's a character issue. We talked about that last week. It's character.
Being a drug lord is a character issue.
Yeah, it is. Sure is. That's a big one.
That's a big one. Moving right along. I feel vindicated.
Okay, well then we get back into this and we see that Bailey, he comes back up this weekend, and this time Proctor has come to him because he's wondering why hasn't the prosecution used your information. And so Proctor tries to figure out what that information is, and he finds out from Bailey that, there's this tape that implicates both Ghost and Tommy in not only Lobos' murder, but in Ruiz's murder. So he's basically telling Tommy, if I give you this information and you play this in court, you're going to have to pick between the two. Either Tommy flips on Ghost or Ghost flips on Tommy. There's no way to split that.
Yeah,
that was a bad situation.
That was a bad situation.
Yeah, it was.
And too bad that Tommy had to hear that.
Right. Well, it didn't get to that point yet because that was when Bailey was telling him, I don't want to let you listen. I don't want to be seen in public with you, basically.
St. Patrick's lawyer,
either you can, Proctor tries to get him to meet in the office, but he says, no, I'm going to come to your house. So I was wondering what was going to happen with that tape because I always thought that Bailey would have a big part in getting Ghost off. Mm-hmm. So the fact that Proctor has this in his hands, I think it's really smart for Proctor to try to get Bailey on his side. Mm-hmm. And then as we skip ahead and we go to the scene where they are
actually meeting
in Proctor's house and the tape is being played, it turns out like that Bailey is trying to basically say, look, Ghost will go down for this. Tommy or Ghost, one or the other. You take your pick. One of them will go down for this, but at least make sure that Greg's name is cleared. Right. And Proctor's like, hold up, no, it doesn't have to be that way. I can get Ghost's name cleared and Knox's name cleared if I spin this my way.
Right.
And then comes out Tommy.
Right.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
Insane.
I did not see that coming.
No, Me neither. I thought Bailey was going to die, but I
didn't think it was going to be so soon.
I thought that he would die at the hands of Sandoval.
Right.
Something.
Yeah.
And not so soon.
Yeah. I so not saw that.
And,
and then you not only stabbed him. Did you see the size of that knife?
And pulled it out of him and just let him bleed out.
And then he wiped the blood on Proctor's sweatshirt.
Now we're in this together. The title of this episode, everybody is in this together.
Everybody. And they kept that
theme that kept going from person to person.
Almost through every scene.
We're in this together.
We're in this together. So that, again, writing is on point.
Yes.
But and now Proctor has been he's been brought into a murder. And actually he is, because a murder was committed in his home and he does nothing about it. That's Jay.
Right, and he gets rid of the body. He said he got a guy.
He said, I know a guy. I was like,
Proctor knows shady.
Yeah, I'm like, dang,
he knows somebody?
Proctor is like, he's Mr. Fix-It. I'm saying, you know somebody that can.
Now that's the cleaner. You talking about Ghost being the cleaner. Sounds like Proctor is the cleaner.
Or at least he knows something.
Yeah. And so it was so crazy. Like, I was mind blown by that scene because I'm like, Tommy, what are you doing?
Every time I thought that somebody was going to get killed.
He's a federal officer.
And the thing is, now that he's missing,
he's
probably going to the chop shop.
And do they check records, his phone records, to see the last person he spoke with?
He's bringing more heat.
Hopefully it was Mike.
No, the last person I think he spoke with was Proctor.
Well, they spoke on the. It wasn't on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
I'm hoping that doesn't come back to bite him.
Proctor. Well, that's why I'm getting kind of scared for Proctor, because I'm feeling like he's becoming I feel like he's becoming a liability for Tommy, and Tommy might take him out too, because
I don't think he has to. I think with him being off the case.
Well, he hasn't been.
And now,
yeah. We get to that point, but
we'll get to that.
Okay, maybe I'm stepping ahead here, but from the incident of the murder, it's building up to. Proctor doesn't have anything to fall on anymore. He has no protection whatsoever.
Absolutely. That's why I feel like he's a liability. Because when he was Ghost's lawyer, okay, we need him. But he's not on the case anymore. So I don't really feel like they kind of need him. To Tommy, he might he's the only one that That's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm worried about his well-being.
Yes. And I think he's realizing that too, and he's becoming a little bit more unstable every incident that happens.
I don't know. I don't see him flipping.
No, I don't see him flipping because he know that Tommy will kill him.
No, but not flipping.
I think they're gonna look, once they find out that Bailey's missing, the likelihood is they'll check phone records to see who the last person was that
and that's going to be very unfortunate for Proctor. Man,
because that's one thing that Sandoval didn't do. Sandoval didn't call him. He popped up on bail.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
Oh my goodness, please. I just hope next week's episode that don't happen. So let's pray for Proctor.
Right.
Okay, so what happens next is Tommy and Keisha they hooking up.
Again.
Of course. And Keisha, I'm so tired of her being on the fence because like earlier in the episode, she was over Tasha's house trying to support her and hearing about Angie. You know, if that was me, I would have whooped that trick, did all this stuff. And then next thing you know, when she gets with Tommy, all this uncertainty pops up with Tasha. And you staying the night? I heard you was staying the night at Tasha's house with her and the kids. What about me? I got a son.
Yeah, she's a friend of me.
Yes,
she's a friend of me, and also she's insecure. Tasha is taking her man before she said everything nice she had. Tasha is taken, so she clearly had issues. I was tickled when Tommy was like, "Why you tripping?" That was hilarious, and it was on time.
Yes, and again, you mentioned this before, but I think you're right when you say that Keisha likes Tommy more than Tommy likes Keisha.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, definitely. I think, she believing that Tommy saved her life, and maybe that sparked this love affair. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe she got that little hero complex, like, you saved my life now.
Yeah, so, you can have anything you want, that kind of thing. I don't know, but she really got to get it together because I'm now, she's kind of on my list too.
People that can get the hands.
Oh, get the hands. Get the hands.
Yes.
Oh, Keisha's
I'm tired of her playing on both sides.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah.
Get the hands.
I'm a little tired of it.
Okay.
And the next person that we love to say can get the hands is Tariq.
Yes.
Tariq need both hands.
Yeah, Tariq does.
Homeboy this week
hands
is off
feet.
the chain. So now not only is Tariq, he's doing lean. He's hanging with Kanan.
He got his friends doing lean.
He got the friends doing lean.
Oh my God.
He's robbing the friends while they drinking the lean.
And it looked like he got some this week too.
Well,
with the little girl.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
I think.
I'm hoping that
it didn't get to that. Well, it wasn't on camera.
It wasn't
on camera, but she put his hand on her leg, and I think it's assumed that Tariq got some this week.
I'm more inclined to believe that conversation, which was
that
very,
conversation
very short,
had an effect on him.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that conversation might have gone a little deeper because he did ask, did Kanan put you up to this?
Yeah, he said, the slim dude.
Well, I mean, I'm saying,
Kanan.
Yeah, but and I'm.
She said no, she wanted to.
Yeah,
well, she said that, and
I think Tariq got a piece. I think he did.
He probably did, but I think the part that probably touched him the most when they were talking is how, she was saying that she's from that area, her parents don't care where she been at, and he's like, I live in a good neighborhood, my parents, they would kill me if they knew where I was at.
Right.
And so him seeing her side of that and then realizing how much his parents really do care.
Right.
He's probably like,
it might be becoming full circle with him.
I think he's starting to get it a little bit.
I think it's going to come full circle.
Yeah. And so, after that, after he set up the classmate and he been eyeing this little girl, Tasha is up at the school and everything with the kids. And she is confronting the principal about Raina getting photographed and being in the paparazzi.
Okay,
and
that principal tried it too.
Let's go
that
back
principal
to,
can get these hands.
House, though. Let's go back to the house when Kanan was robbing the house and they hear this thump. Now, to me, this is a mistake. And here's why. You're robbing the house. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand Tariq wanted to go in to check it out before his friend, because they might have killed his friend.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can get that. Mm-hmm. But when your friend hollers, is everything okay? And you say, yeah, everything's fine, your cat knocked over something.
Right.
Well, how do you explain the television listing at around the same time that you supposedly went down there to check on something?
But this goes back to, and even Kanan's friend said this in this episode, he's green, you know?
Right, he's green.
And that's why when they were waiting in the car trying to get the message, he was like, you sure this boy not gonna mess, he's so green.
Right.
Yeah, that's...
And they really flirting on the line with this.
Right.
And they almost got caught up too.
No,
Tariq probably gonna end up getting in trouble. They probably gonna start connecting the dots because the other guy and
the police seen them before they went in the house, and the neighbors seen them before they went in the house.
Let's talk about that police officer though. He looked a little shady.
That's the same dirty cop that was with Jukebox.
Exactly. So I'm not worried about that. I think he's a lookout anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Either way, the neighbors have seen the two suspicious black guys in this nice neighborhood.
They felt real comfortable when they saw,
the police officer.
Yeah. Right. They felt comfortable moving.
But either way, they witnesses, and so when stuff come up missing,
and
they're gonna talk.
But again, it's Tariq, and Kane has no problem sending him down the down. And so. it's just going to be interesting how your buddies are getting robbed and you're in the house at the same time.
That's what I said. He's the common denominator.
Yes, he is.
But maybe old boy is so whacked out on the lean that he might not even remember. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
But then that might come out too, because his parents might say, well, how did you get exposed to this? And then they probably will rat out Tariq.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah, and so back to the scene where Tasha's talking with the principal. She's like, I spend too much money with this school, and she's like, speaking of the money.
your check bounced.
Right.
Your check bounced.
And once again, Tasha is blindsided.
Yeah. And I think the accounts
the
are just
money
frozen.
is-
But that
No,
principal
Because
tried
remember
it.
what
Yeah,
remember-
She tried to throw shade.
Oh, she did.
She can get the hands too.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
on the list too, principal.
Yeah, that was a palm tree she threw.
Right.
That wasn't
And
shade.
so I'm like, Tasha just can't get a break,
No.
But
No.
that's the game, And to me, I don't know why they didn't see this coming, even when they brought Keisha in, suspectingly.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is what happens.
Yes.
And now,
Her
I don't
shop
wanna
gets
jump-
shut
her
down.
shop is
Truth
shut
gets
down.
shut
Truth is
down.
shut down. As you said, I think they froze
All his assets.
all of his assets.
Or anything even related. Because Keisha's
Right.
not even one of his assets.
Well, no, she's.
No, but
Not
they
directly.
were working.
They
with,
work together,
Right,
yeah.
but it's not one of his
They're-
direct
do that.
assets.
Yeah, they were partners in that shop.
And you would think that, my first question was, how does the feds know that this could be a laundry service for?
But his wife,
money.
because his
Right.
wife, the wife is partners with Keisha.
Well, yeah, that's probably more
That's
of the
why.
reason why. So here we go. The very thing that Keisha was afraid
Worried
of
about.
is happening.
Yep.
And you talk about liability. She's
That's what
Keisha
I said.
been a
I
liability.
think she's gonna be the one to flip. For real.
she's a huge
I
liability.
do. I think
because
she's the
she's got
one.
her son to be concerned with. Now here we go talking about kids. Now what do?
And she
Now, you in
already
the
talking
game,
shady
you in
to
the game.
Tasha. You
And
know.
I
And
don't
not
know.
just that. I mean, she's in the game. Tommy's gonna do his thing, trying to talk her out of it. But now you've got my shop. I got no way of making money. I got a kid.
And I don't know if you guys
I don't
see
think
next week's previews, because it seems like Tasha and Tommy are talking, and they're talking about Keisha, and they're like basically just asking like, what you gonna do, if she flips on us. And so I think that Keisha could definitely be a liability.
Yes, and I don't think Keisha knows how dangerous Tommy is.
No, she doesn't. She has
And
no
so
She
that's
has no
the thing.
idea.
She
He
has
killed
no idea.
Holly. He would kill her too.
In a heartbeat.
snap. I mean, she's done. So she and
He might hit it one more time before he does it, but he probably take her out.
if he gonna hit it one more time. But hey, Keisha,
Girl,
what kind of roses do you like?
Yeah.
she about to be 6 feet under.
And then we can talk about Julio and Dre because
I was getting
Dre.
that.
Oh,
I
okay.
was
Well, I'll
gonna-
let you.
No, because Dre, he irked me this week because he's another one that
He
I
can get
don't
the
like
hands.
playing both sides.
He
of
can get the
fence.
hands.
Especially with Julio, because he know doggone well he went to Tommy last week and told him
He lied.
about
Right,
the feds.
he straight
up
Oh
lied.
yeah, he spent more time with the
I didn't
feds than
say-
I
I
did.
didn't say
And
that.
then
He said, I didn't say that. And then when Cristobal came up in there, he said to Cristobal, "Oh, how did Julio F up again?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, he is coming for that
And-
number 2 spot.
And Courtney in her after show interview said that Dre is looking to capitalize on Julio's
His weakness.
weakness.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that might get Julio killed. I hope not, but
Dre is another problem too, because now all the assets have been frozen.
Yes.
Kanan is,
He goes to Kanan at the
to
party
Kanan
and
at the
tells him
party.
about it,
Right.
which I don't think he should have done.
Absolutely. Again,
If you don't
gotta
got
be a
the money-
problem solver. You can't be putting problems in front. Because what did Kanan say? That sounds
I don't
like
care how you get it,
That's
just
your
get it.
problem. You gonna get my money.
Mm-hmm.
So Dre's got a lot of issues, and then even something Kanan had said to Dre, go back to that
pretty little girl.
you had.
Yeah.
See,
That would
at
have
some
been
point you got to step to that, and you got to clean that up, because you don't know when Kanan is coming after your dog.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that he know
And
that
you
you don't
talk
have a
about-
steady source of income to
And
pay him.
Right, and
What?
you're talking about taking care of your kids. You got no steady income to pay him. He's as crazy as Tommy. He's already threatened your kid a couple times. It's time to go, Kanan.
Yeah, but
It
and
is,
again, if you looked at the previews for next week, it looks like he's going back to Kanan saying, you ready to reclaim what was yours?
Yeah,
and
that's
it seems
why I
like
was-
that's how he's trying to get himself out in the clear for not having the money.
That's a punk. That right there, that's punking.
Dre should have killed Kanan a long time ago.
Yes.
That first time he threatened your son, your daughter, done.
Yeah.
Done.
I don't know what Dre
Because
is thinking.
Dre knows he does not play cards. His hand is dirty.
And this
He
is a
knows that.
lose situation.
Right.
You got
There's no win
Kanan,
here.
Tommy,
Well, that's why
and
he's
Ghost against
maneuvering.
you.
That's why I think he's
But you
going to try
can't
to
serve
maneuver to
two
get
masters,
Julio.
and this is what
It's
I'm
three
talking
in this
about.
case.
Well, three
Right.
in this case.
Right.
So,
And these are three of the most dangerous men to be
Right.
on a bad side.
and
Right.
I don't know if I can see Dre. Well, I guess is he a liability to the show? I mean, can we do without Dre?
We can do without Dre.
Yeah.
There's more than enough people that can step up in his absence.
Right.
Because I feel like I don't want Dre to die because I like how he is turning into a little baby ghost, and I think it could be interesting for the development of the show. So I don't want him to die, but at the same time, I need him to man up. Like, you got to be ruthless. Somebody is threatening your child.
See, that's
Right.
the reason I don't think he can be a ghost, because he just doesn't have that intuitiveness to know when to do certain things, and he's kind of too spontaneous with things. Just to be lying like that, even lying to Cristobal and
Shoot, Ghost lies. I mean, he is being like Ghost.
But Ghost is more strategic. This dude is just out there. He's just
Dre
out
is being strategic too, though.
Well, he's thinking that he is.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you can't play three hands.
Oh,
Right.
I know. We'll see how he gets out of this if he does. But he's trying to be strategic.
Yeah, well, he's got to watch what hands he's playing.
Yeah. It's a very dangerous game that he's
Right.
playing. And I mean, I wouldn't want to cross Tommy or Kane.
Exactly. And you got two of the worst notorious.
Yeah.
You got some killers, and you trying to play them both. It's not a good look.
Yeah.
And don't let Tommy find out that you running with Kanan.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Woo.
You won't even know you're dead.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, Dre, he better get it together quick, because I don't see him lasting another two episodes max if he don't get it together.
Well, maybe in the season finale, they'll snap him out.
Yeah, and you know how they like to throw us for a loop and make
Yeah.
us think the unsuspecting
Right,
character's not going
right.
to take care of business.
Exactly.
Right.
I think Dre will come around, hopefully.
Yeah, I see him go. But hey,
And so we go back to the part where, Tommy has dropped the money off, and he remember how he dropped everything, and he took notes when he was there, and he gave those notes to Proctor to give to Ghost while he's in jail. And so Ghost pretty much takes the information and uses it against Tony. And so Tony's thinking
smart.
we gonna keep this money going. I need my $20,000 again next week.
And I want to see Tommy.
He wants to see him.
It's not
And Ghost shuts all that down.
Same
He's like,
thing.
look, I know who you, just like you knew who I was, now I know who you are. And at
knows
first
your mom knows your wife is sick.
Knows
but
your
I
wife
was
is
worried
sick.
at first because Tony, he's like, I'm in here for multiple life sentences, and you ain't doing nothing but giving me more juice.
Right.
And then Ghost was like, see, I know that you killed this Roberto guy, and I don't think his family would take too kindly to knowing that it was you that did it, and knowing where your wife lived.
Right. See?
Right.
That's a ghost right there.
That was strategic.
I was like,
Yes.
this is the Ghost we know and love.
And
Right.
That's my point. You gotta be. You talk about G. That's another alphabet.
Whew, man, I was so proud of him in that moment.
Yeah, I was in that moment. He bossed up in that moment.
Yes, he did. And so basically he told
In
Tony.
a bang, he bossed up.
Right.
That's two B's.
Right. And so he basically
Is that a
told.
B or B plus?
He bossed up in the bang. He ain't bossed up with his wife and kids, but he bossed
That's
up
a whole
in the
nother
bang.
story.
That's a whole nother story.
But he
Keep
told
going back
Tony,
up.
give me a head nod if you understand.
That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Punk him down. Give me a head nod. I don't want to hear your voice.
Yeah, he did that.
So I was like, way to boss up, Ghost. Finally, we've been waiting for this.
Yes.
But, I don't think that this is by any means the last of Tony. We don't hear from him again.
No.
He's not going to lay down easy.
And I think he wanted to see Tommy because I think he believes that's his son too, or knows that's his son.
Right, and he hasn't probably seen him in years.
What? Or if at all.
If at all.
If at all, you're right.
Tommy said his dad wasn't around, so he probably don't know who he is.
Right.
Yeah.
But he probably knew
And
Tommy
fruit don't
was.
fall far from the tree.
That's
Right.
a fact.
Right.
So, and the fact that he said it's him,
Yep.
that just said, okay, that seals it for me.
Yeah.
Father and son.
I wonder if they'll ever get their reunion before the end of this
What would
season.
that look like?
Who knows? Maybe Tommy will come up to the jail to visit Ghost, and he'll see Tony there having a visit with his wife.
I don't know.
Who knows?
But would he know who he is? I mean, you know,
Well,
if he
Tony
was
would
around,
definitely know.
Tommy wouldn't know who he is anyway.
Right.
It would.
And
But the wife would recognize him from being in her house if it went down like that.
She would, but again, she's right now fishing. I would suspect this next episode, she would go maybe pay a visit to Tony. Mm-hmm. And say, who's
where
this
the
kid?
money come from too.
Right, who's this kid that's in our home that dropped off this, who is he?
She was hot about that.
Who is
she
he
was
to
mad.
you?
Right.
Because you're holding something back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a very interesting thing because it's going to really, Tony is going to have to, how does he play that?
How do you explain that?
He's either going to bone up and tell her the truth or he's going to have to tell another lie.
To protect her, right?
To protect.
That's the only time. That's the only time people lie. Apparently on this show.
I knew that at some point.
Apparently, that's the only time people lie.
Thank you, T.
You are a trip.
Thank you.
We hollering at his wife after this
I'm
podcast.
totally vindicated, y'all. Goodbye.
Because we know that he's not living by that same creed.
I don't know what they're talking about. I have no idea.
Man. Okay, so we get to the second court appearance. So this is where it all goes downhill for Proctor. Before they can even get the case going, here comes Sandoval with the may I approach you, Judge? Mm-hmm. And he comes with the paperwork, and the judge calls him into his chambers. And he's saying, basically, Proctor has been photographed with Tommy Egan, and right now he's representing James, and that's a clear conflict of interest. Both of these men are implicated in this crime, and he's out here conversing with both of them. And I'm like, I knew for some reason that what Silver said last episode about it being a conflict of interest, I knew it would probably come back up.
I think Silver dimed on him. He did it.
I hope Silver ain't that shady.
I hope not either, but
I think he is because he wants to be top dog anyway. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Well, he got what he asked for. Well, what he wants at least.
Yeah, because, he wasn't feeling Proctor anyway.
And then he has Ghost's fate in his hands.
And
I think he loves that idea.
Right.
He loves it.
Right.
He
gonna rub that in. I just can't stand the way he thinks he's better than thou. Like, come on now.
He has a self-righteous side too.
And so I was so sad when Proctor had to go and sit on the other side of the glass from Ghost and tell him to his face, I'm not your lawyer anymore.
And I felt the fear that Ghost had in him.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine.
He doesn't trust Silver.
The only one left is Silver.
Right.
And Silver could see him go down the river.
And he does not have his back.
And you see Proctor's frustration too, because when he told him, he's like, Silver is your last hope of getting out of here. And then he kind of like slammed the phone down and went off.
Oh yeah, he was pissed.
He was hot.
And then where did he go? He went immediately to Angela's house. He went to check that hole.
Yes. And I was surprised he ended up there, his drunken stupor.
Yeah, because the thing is, I think he really likes Ghost.
He does.
He does. And he thought he was innocent. And he went to check her like, he did all of this for you. And once again, it is Ghost's fault. He did do all that for her. She is the reason why he's in there.
Yeah, and I think even after Angela basically kicked Proctor out her building, when she closed the door, she kind of thought, and I think that it touched a soft spot for her. Because even after all this, your lawyer is coming to me to tell me that you chose me again.
And she needed to hear that.
She did need to hear that. She did need to hear that.
And that's what prompted her to ask
for the surveillance
tapes. Mm-hmm. And what did we find out on the surveillance tape?
Yeah, so the wheels are turning. I think she's going to find out who the mole is.
But here's the deal. The mole. She already knows.
She does know because the last person that reviewed that tape was Sandoval.
I got a picture of the gun being
placed into the
But they didn't show that. They didn't show that on the
tape. She had a picture.
Of the tape.
So you see,
and he never once in that video goes over to that.
No, he did. Right. He never did.
And that's why she said what she said at the end.
Right.
So now she fully gets this whole picture. She knows that he's been set up now. Here's the thing. Here's the problem.
What was interesting to me is that I was just like, Sandoval was the last one to review that footage. Why didn't he delete the footage of James, going in there? Because if he reviewed that footage,
I don't know
he saw the same thing that Angie saw, that he did not
But I
go
don't know
over
if he
to
could
that.
do that, and that's tampering with state's evidence, and you don't want to do that.
Well,
he's already been tampering with state's evidence.
My whole point is, I know in broadcasting or the equipment that you're using, did you really want that system to be able to erase anything? It may be just a read only or playback, where you cannot erase anything. I certainly wouldn't have it, because why would you erase something?
Or just destroy it, period.
Well, look, you all didn't think that all the way through. You always got to have a what if in your plan.
Yeah, and that same thing that happened with Proctor, where he was telling Tommy, like, what if there's another copy? I got to make sure there's no other copies of this.
Right.
When he was talking about the recording of
recording
Ruiz's murder.
Right. Exactly.
But
so,
if Sandoval was smart, he's thinking the same way that Proctor was when he was like, maybe if I don't destroy this, there could be other copies. Or like he said, maybe it's read only. Maybe I can't chop it up to benefit me.
To get rid of that, you would be getting rid of evidence that. What's interesting though, they didn't think that through. Though they didn't think that through at all.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the planning of the gun, I mean,
he just gets sloppy
admitted
now.
that. Why would somebody, even as intelligent, you want me to believe that this man is a known killer,
masterminded his way into the house?
Why would then he be so sloppy to leave
the
gun
in his workplace?
Out in a drawer where everybody can, knowing that at some point,
poorly hidden.
Yeah, well, come on. So, again, this whole thing wasn't thought through properly. So,
then I think out of Mike's desperation, he's getting sloppy.
Yeah.
And it's coming back to catch him now because Angela knows.
You cannot be in that. Mike has no control over what goes on now.
Right.
And he should have known that way back when. You can't control. Once you set this in motion, again, it's the whole thing with Ghost from the very beginning. Once this is set in motion, you can't stop it. It's a freight train that's running free. You can't stop it.
And I think Angela realizes that too, because with her finding this information, and Courtney mentions this in her interview too after the show, where she said, Angela was hoping that she could pin this murder on Ghost because it would clean up her mess. She would have a scapegoat to blame.
Right.
But with her seeing that Ghost is innocent now, she realizes that she's made a bigger mess than ever before. Like how do you clean up this?
And you can imagine the things that are running through her mind, because if they would play that hard
to get him the needle.
I mean, she can't go to.
She's probably gonna have to set a trap for Sandoval.
Well, you gotta know now that Sandoval is the.
So she can't go to him.
She has to know that she can't go to him, and she has to know that he's also dangerous. He killed your man.
She can't go to anybody on that team.
Right, that's why I said she's going to have to set a trap. She's
now,
gonna
do you go back to Tasha and go back to Tasha and say, hey, look.
I think she's going to build a case. She's going to have to follow the evidence and stuff and everything. And maybe she then gives the evidence to Proctor.
Look at what she already knows. She already knows that they can't use the gun because there were issues with that. So, aside from that one fingerprint on the window, we're not even talking about that anymore. We're much deeper. We're much deeper than that. So now that she knows that she is the reason that she could send this guy, her lover, to jail.
Or he's going to send him to his deathbed.
No, that's what I meant. To the death. To his death.
We all knew that she was the reason.
Yeah, but I'm saying she now understands that this is a lot deeper than what she had planned.
And after she's been riding so hard for this death penalty, no, he did it. He did it. After she had so many opportunities to give doubt, to cast doubt on this, and she's been confirming them basically along the way. How do you go back to that?
She's not the chick that can live with the idea of Ghost dying for something he didn't do.
Well, that's why Ghost, if you get out, you better not go back to that hole.
I don't see
that. You better not go back to that hole.
And you know what? I don't think that, would either one of them want to be, I mean, it's just, by now, you don't have the makings. It's so far gone. There's nothing that there for them. I mean, you can't.
There's so much distrust. There's so much dishonesty. But there's betrayal.
And when we talk about liability, now that she knows this information, and she's always, like they said, she's always want to misdo right, and so I think she's going to try to do something, but at the same token, whatever she does, it gets her into DEFCON 1.
Right.
Because DEFCON 1 or whatever it is, you're setting yourself up.
Mm-hmm. She's just screwed either way.
Yeah, she is.
Because I can tell you, if she approaches Mike with this.
She's-
information.
No, I
Yeah,
don't think.
you
I
would
don't
kill
think
her.
she's gonna do that. I don't think she's gonna do that. I think she's.
I
Gonna,
think she
I
will.
think she's gonna gather the evidence.
She's
and
gonna-
stuff.
But
I
you
think
know,
she
Angie
will.
is also confrontational. She likes to make sure
Right.
that you know that she knows.
Exactly, and that's my point.
Right.
I think that she's going to approach him and say something to the effect that, what is this all about?
I hope not,
I
because
hope
that's
not.
the end of her.
Yeah.
But I think she knows by now that she can't play around with Mike because he's a murderer now.
Right.
So you cannot play with somebody like
Yeah.
that. You can't take that kind of information to him. And I think once they find out that Bailey is dead, they're gonna think Mike did it. I don't know. They don't know what we
I
know
don't think
as
so.
the audience.
Like I said,
So
the
maybe
natural,
not.
To me, the natural progression with that.
They might think Tommy did it because they're already trying to build against
Right.
Well-
Tommy. Ruiz is dead and all of that. They might think that
It's-
Tommy
yeah,
did it.
it's so
Or they
much.
might think that if they're trying to say that Tommy is Ghost and trying to implicate Ghost at James St. Patrick and everything, they might think he ordered a hit from the inside. They might
Well-
Yeah,
still
you
try
never
to.
know.
But the only
They
thing-
might
the
still
only
try to
people
put that on.
Theoretically, the only people that knew about the tape were the lawyers.
Right.
Okay, so we have a situation. If they check, because right now he's missing, or whenever they discover him missing, he's missing. They don't know whether he's dead or not,
Right.
and they're not going to find the body. We know
Right.
Yeah, he's going to chop.
So-
Yeah, who knows?
So
Maybe
he's-
he just up and left. But
But he
I
did-
think it would be very suspicious if he up and left
Very
because he
suspicious.
was
He
trying
was-
so hard to
that.
exonerate
So,
Graves.
exactly,
Right.
and now he's missing.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the first thing you do is check phone records. That's
Right.
the first thing you do, and the
Ugh.
first thing they're going to find is Proctor.
And this
Having
is-
had that conversation,
Man.
and it could lead to the fact that the last known place that Bailey
Was
was
Proctor's house.
at Proctor's house.
Oh my
Now
goodness.
you come in with the kit, the sweep kit, to come in and find any blood. You can't get the blood off that wooden floor. You can clean it.
I don't know.
He might replace it. He said he knows
he
the
said
guy.
He got a guy. The guy might have taken care of all that.
Oh, he'll take care of the cleanup. But if you don't replace that floor,
Yeah.
okay, because you can put a substance on the floor and through UV light,
Yeah, that'll pop right back up.
that'll pop right
I
back
watch
up.
enough Snap to know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey.
So you see, that could be a good way. Which way we're headed here?
right.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Yeah, we are
Okay.
almost
Yeah.
out of
So
time.
yeah. Right. So we had a lively discussion. I think it looks like we're out of time for right now for this week's episode. But next week, it's episode 5, and that's always a turning point for the season. So if you think this week is good,
Wait until
wait
next
for
week.
next
I
week.
can't wait. I can't
Oh my
wait.
goodness. So, once again, make sure you follow us on our social media. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and also Twitter. This is the Spot Real Talk, at the Spot Real Talk.
Yes.
And keep commenting, keep giving us your opinion on the show. Let us know what you think.
I am Facebook, the Spot Real Talk, everywhere. So just come on in, join us. Look, we got a little extra coming up too. So what we like to do is invite you to our show. Coming up in the next episode, I'm going to give out a number. If you would like to call in and be participants in our show, you can actually be able to do that. If you have an interest in doing so, please, in your comments, leave us your email. We'll get back with you with the number, and we will have you join us.
Right, so I guess until next week, make sure you come back here and watch with us and give us your commentary. Again, we love your comments, so please continue to stick with us. So I guess we'll see you next week for episode 5. Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.